Good evening, everybody. So, from the very beginning, and we have talked a lot. As teachers, we prove that we speak a lot in the class or on the stage, wherever we go, and teachers are used to. And
That's hurting the most. That's hurting the education most.
yes, that's it. So now things are changing. So we are becoming entrepreneurs, and we are making the children entrepreneurs. As I told you, so we speak a lot and we write a lot, and we have written 2 pages. You all wrote only 1 page. We have written 2 pages. Right. It is nothing but the approaches that we are adopting in the classrooms. Is there collaborative approach, and whatever we discussed from the very beginning. So we have put everything in words, and there is nothing new, and everyone is a witness to what we are doing in the classroom. The previous group was speaking about the same topics. I'm not going to enter into what we have read, what we have written here. So I wanted to be practical. Who is an entrepreneur? That was a question raised by Dr. Bay, and many answers were there, and I was raising my hands, but I was not able to give my answer. So the answer is, according to me, not doing different things, but doing things differently. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yes. So let us start doing things differently in the classrooms, and let us give way to our children to think in a different way and do things differently, and that is going to make a future of our India. And since everyone has covered all the points, whatever we expected, and there is a question. So how often we make our children think creatively and answer differently? If I ask you a question, if you say yes or no, and we just give marks, yes, your answer is right or your answer is wrong, and just we give marks, that's it. But do we give why it is right? Do we give a chance to the child to think in a different way? Why this answer is right and why this answer is wrong? If it is right, how it is right? If it is wrong, why it is wrong? Do we ask like that?
Yeah.
We all give true or false questions, but we never bother about yes, logical reasonings. See, if we enter into that phase, so definitely we need not think of anything else, but this approach will be more than enough to bring about experiential learning and entrepreneurship mindset in the minds of the children. And during the lockdown, once Mr. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, pointed out, whereas many companies were worried about people dismissing the people, firing the people from their companies, and he spoke about only one thing, and it was a management lesson he was giving, that scarcity leads to creativity. Scarcity leads to creativity. When we give the entire information or the entire knowledge to the children from the book, so the children are not going to think beyond certain limits, and leave some gaps, leave some blanks for the children to fill it up. Let them think and let them work, let them sit, let them collaborate, let them develop their skills and come out with new ideas. And if we, sometimes children may be saying, yeah, my teacher is the best teacher. Why? She teaches the lesson, she gives the question answers, and she gives good marks, and that is why she is the best teacher. Is it right? Are we just to the children? Not at all, I would say. If we give some point somewhere, and if you give a blank for the children to think and fill it up, so definitely they are going to be creative and they are going to be on their own. And when you teach in the classroom, it is not. Let it not be a one-way process. Let it be an interactive session. How many of our classes are interactive? If 4 children stand together and immediately, what do we say? Sit down. Don't waste my time. Keep quiet. Correct? Is it right? Not right, but we are compelled to do so. We are subjugated to do that. But if we encourage them to get involved in group discussions and creative thinking and the other skills that we all have been incorporating in our lessons, so definitely we will make them believe in their own abilities. So somewhere that gap is there. So our school is a school where principal madam is sitting there, and she was speaking about our school, and we have most of the children from underprivileged background. Underprivileged, maybe they are economically or financially they may be underprivileged, but as far as mind is concerned, knowledge is concerned, and they are far better than anybody else. And CBSE, I am proud to announce here, CBSE has chosen our school for Southeast District, the hub school, which will be catering to thousands of children the skills courses in the coming days. So thank you so much.
A very good evening to a very wonderful listeners here. I would like to just add on a few points to sum up the whole thing. When it comes to pedagogy, it's a very, very vast subject because the entire schooling is based on the plan, the pedagogical plan which you make. So as educators, I think we need to think of two things if we are talking about entrepreneurship to be inculcating among students. How do we plan our annual pedagogical plan? Are we including and giving space to our children to have their own entrepreneurship skills to be presented or showcased? Are we giving space and scope and the opportunities to these students to self-experiment, explore, express and examine as what next I can do? Are we giving some scope of learning by mutual understanding? Is it student-centric or teacher-centric? Is your plan giving student as a center and around the student the entire plan is run? This is the most important one. So if you really want to build up entrepreneurship as a skill and want to give opportunities to students, I think this is one thing which everybody has to work upon. Second, a teacher has to become a facilitator. The teaching has to be student-centric, cannot be teacher-centric. I know it is very boredom at times to listen to it, but you need to work on it rather than simply talking. How? The pedagogy has to change in the class. As we all know, I'm not going to talk about it when we talk about experiential learning, when we talk about project-based learning, when we talk about integration of subjects, when we talk about art integration, when we talk about sports integration. Is it actually happening? There we need to work. The next important point, every teacher needs to learn the learner, which is the magic line. I repeat, every teacher needs to learn the learner. Are we giving that scope of differential teaching in a classroom? So I think the backbone of the entire plan which we are looking forward is the teacher. The teacher has to be equipped and her motive has to be changed in the class. It is not only assessment and examination. It is churning out what best a child has and give opportunities to work upon it. I think only then we can actually work to make our schools as fruitful grounds to bring out students who have these skills of being an entrepreneur and work something for society in a different way and look at the society in a different way. Thank you so much.
Good evening to all. I would like to add about the curiosity of the students. That is more important, to think differently. In our daily routine school activities only, if we could be able to generate such kind of activities that it will raise curiosity among the students, how it happened, why it happened, what are its pros and cons, and accordingly it will help them to take their own decision and move ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And well, all the points are covered, but there's just one thing I would like to add. At some point of time, we all may have had some crazy ideas. We all may have thought that we can do something good about it, but there was one thing that was lacking. Somebody believing in you, and you yourself believing, in yourself. So, as Steve Jobs once said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do it. And you will always find such crazy people. Fine. In your class, there are crazy people. Just don't let them die. We and our education system, we keep on blaming the education system. Unfortunately, it is we who kill them. Fine. So that is the only request. You find a crazy person, believe in that craziness. Who knows? You might be looking at another Steve Jobs. Yeah, I have personally met students. I have some students who are not good in studies. We keep on saying they're average, below average, but they are the ones who actually have some brilliant ideas because they're thinking differently. They don't believe in the status quo, so they're thinking differently.